going to take up for discussion specific development measures taken by central government to combat left-wing extremism. Before I take up the specific steps which have been taken by the central government to combat left-wing extremism, I would just like you all to recapitulate what we have discussed earlier, that as far as counter-Naxal strategy is concerned, one very important facet, theme, dimension within that counter-Naxal strategy should be accelerating the pace of socio-economic political development in Naxal affected areas. Underdevelopment of that region is one of the prime contributory factor for birth and spread of left-wing extremism. So, when we are talking about counter-Naxal strategy, we will have to accelerate the pace of socio-economic political development in Naxal affected areas. And this was realized by central government way back. So, in the last 2 decades, we have seen series of developmental initiatives by central government to combat left-wing extremism. So, we are all set to start the discussion on specific developmental measures taken by central government to combat LWE, left-wing extremism. And I told you that before I talk about the specific developmental measures, right, as far as counter-Naxal strategy is concerned, counter-Naxal strategy, within this, very important component is what? Accelerating pace of socio-economic political development in left-wing extremism affected areas. Now, this was what was realized by the central government way back, and in the last 2 decades, one after other, central government has taken many steps to combat left-wing extremism. One of the step which is very important, which is very general but important, that whatever poverty alleviation program, whatever employment generation program, whatever welfare programs are there for India, in that there is a special component for LWE affected areas. For example, Manrega, right? I hope you might have heard about it. Manrega, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, for which Employment Guarantee Act has been passed, Manrega. Now, in Manrega, there is a special feature as far as in Naxal affected area is concerned. You might have heard about Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. Now, within this Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, there is a special, feature for Naxal affected areas. You might have, right, you might have heard about Pradhan Mantri, right, Kausal Vikas Yojana. Now, within Pradhan Mantri Kausal Vikas Yojana, which is for skill development, there is a special component for Naxal affected areas. So, many steps have been taken. We just have to see which all steps. First and the foremost step which has been taken is effective implementation of protective legislation. Effective implementation, focus is on effective implementation of protective right, protective legislation. So the laws which have been enacted to protect the rights, interests and claims of local people, tribal people, poor people, we are, central government is focused on effective implementation of that protective legislation. Within this, important laws are, I would say, scheduled caste and scheduled tribe Prevention of Atrocities Act, Prevention of, Prevention of Atrocities Act. So I hope you know this is a very special law through which we are trying to prevent atrocities against the marginalized section of Indian society, that is scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So there is a lot of focus, of central government for effective implementation of this scheduled caste and scheduled tribe Prevention of Atrocities Act. Then there is also, focus on PESA, Panchayat Extension to Scheduled Areas. This is an act of 1996. Okay. So in polity we have studied about PESA. Those who have not studied, PESA, for them, I hope you are aware that through 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act, we have given Panchayati Raj institution constitutional recognition. So we have extended the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act of Constitution in 5th schedule areas of India through PESA. And under PESA, we have given Gram Sabha overwhelming powers. Okay. So Gram Sabha has been given overwhelming powers under PESA, and through PESA, we have extended Panchayati Raj system, we have extended 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act to those areas which falls within 5th schedule of Indian Constitution, 5th schedule of Indian Constitution. So what I am just interested in telling you, that effective implementation of protective legislation, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, then PESA, then very important, you might have heard about this, the scheduled tribe, the scheduled tribes and other scheduled tribes and other traditional forest dwellers, traditional forest dwellers, recognition of forest right, recognition of Forest Right Act 2006. So under this, through this law, we have attempted protecting the rights of those scheduled tribes and other traditional forest dwellers who for generation are residing inside the forest. So we are trying to protect their rights on minor forest produce inside forest, through this historic legislation. Okay. So we are trying to very effectively, central government is trying to implement this law, in a better way on ground to deal with left-wing extremism. And recent most, you must have heard about right to fair compensation, right to fair compensation right to fair compensation and transparency in land acquisition, rehabilitation and resettlement. Rehabilitation and Resettlement Act 2013. I have told you that now for acquiring land for developmental project, consent of farmers or landowners required. And when the land is being acquired, not only the people who own the land, but even livelihood losers, they are to be compensated. Okay, so we are trying to very effectively implement this historic law which was passed by Parliament in 2013, which talks about fair compensation, which talks about transparency in the process of land acquisition, which talks about anyone who is getting displaced, proper rehabilitation and resettlement. Those who will lose livelihood, they also to be compensated along with landowners. So this law is what we are trying to implement on ground effectively, efficiently, properly to deal with left-wing extremism. Okay, to deal with left-wing extremism. So one important component within the steps which have been taken by the central government to combat left-wing extremism is what? Either we have enacted new protective legislation, and if protective legislation was already there, then our focus is on effective implementation. Effective implementation. In addition to this, we are very much focused on livelihood security, right? Livelihood security. Many steps have been taken. Livelihood security. Then food security. Okay, livelihood security, then food security. Okay, in LWE affected areas. So many affirmative steps under ongoing central government scheme. For example, for livelihood security, already we have a scheme Manrega. For food security, you must be aware that Food Security Act is what is being implemented. So central government has taken affirmative steps for livelihood security and food security in LWE affected areas. This also you will have to mention. In addition to this, one recently, program, I hope you might have heard about it. This is in the name of aspirational districts. Aspirational districts program. Aspirational districts program. Okay, and we have identified 115 districts under this program from 28 states, and we have identified the districts which are affected by poor socio-economic indicators, poor socio-economic indicators, poor socio-economic indicators, okay, indicators. And you know, and this right, under this what we are saying, right, what we are saying, that we will accelerate the pace of development in these aspirational districts, and most of these aspirational districts are LWE affected districts, left wing extremism affected districts. And what we are saying under this program, that under this aspirational district program, we will try to improve the performance of these districts on 49 indicators, 49 indicators, and these 49 indicators are related with 5 identified themes or thematic area, you can say, broadly relates with 5 identified thematic areas, okay. And these thematic areas, if you see, are health and nutrition, health and nutrition, then education, then third is agriculture and water resources, agriculture and water resources, right. Then the fourth is financial inclusion, and skill development, okay. And the fifth is basic infrastructure, okay. So under aspirational district programs, we have identified 115 districts of India which are performing poor when it comes to socio-economic indicators. And then through this program, we want in a time-bound manner improvement in these districts on 49 different indicators. We have set targets for 49 indicators, and those 49 indicators relates with 5 identified thematic areas, and those 5 identified thematic areas are health and nutrition, education, agriculture and water resources, basic infrastructure, financial inclusion and skill development. And most of the districts which we have picked up under aspirational district program are left-wing extremism affected districts. So this aspirational district program of central government definitely will go long way in resolving Naxalism problem in these districts. In addition to, right, in addition to this, aspirational district program, a lot of focus is there of central government on, right, on road connectivity in LWE affected areas, okay. And for that, since 2009, one very important program which is under implementation is RRP, Road Requirement Plan, okay. Under this RRP, we have decided that we will construct 5,422 kilometers of road in left-wing extremist hit areas from 8 states and 8 critical bridges. Okay, 8 critical bridges and almost 4,800 kilometers already we have completed. Okay, see, we need to understand that transport infrastructure is the nebulous for development. What we say that if we make road reach to the remotest part of India, automatically that road will bring development. If we, any transport infrastructure, if we are able to create, then all side of that transport infrastructure, automatically in a very short period of time, development will be there. Okay, so a lot of focus is on road connectivity and rural road requirement plan is one. Another than road requirement plan, there is another centrally sponsored scheme in the name of RCP, Road Connectivity Program. Road Connectivity Program. Under this road connectivity program, this this we started in since 2016 for LWE affected areas. LWE affected areas, we have started this. Affected areas, we have started this. Okay, and under this we just want upgradation, and somewhere if new construction is required, then construction of 5,412 kilometers of road. Figures are not important. 12 kilometers of length of road, along with 126 small bridges, and that would be cross drainage work, right? That would be cross drainage work. Okay, so our focus is on improving road connectivity in Naxal affected area. Okay, road connectivity in Naxal affected area. Another focus is on, right? Another focus is on this mobile towers. So LWE mobile tower project, right? This was announced since 2014 it is there, and in LWE affected states, we have planned that we will erect 2,335 mobile towers, okay, and this is what we have planned in phase 1, and under phase 2 we have planned 4,072 mobile towers erection. Now, it will not only address the issue of connectivity, but it will also give some additional revenue to people whose land is acquired And, very important thing. See, if mobile will be there, they will get connected with the rest of the world. They can watch, TV, they can browse internet, and there can be some entertainment for them, information for them. There is no better way to empower people than to keep them informed. And these mobile towers, if is erected, then it will provide some employment opportunity, some livelihood, opportunity for the people in that region, the maintenance. Okay, during the period of erecting the tower, some workforce, technical, non-technical, will be required. So you need to understand this, that a lot of focus is there on to address the connectivity issue, right? To address the connectivity issue. Let me just tell you that government is also focused on under PMKVY, Pradhan Mantri Kausal Vikas Yojana, right? Pradhan Mantri Kausal Vikas Yojana, skill development program. Okay, Kausal Vikas Yojana. In all, in all LWE, affected districts, government is in the process of constructing and establishing one ITI. So one ITI in each district and two SDCs. What is SDCs? Skill Development Centers. Skill Development Centers. Okay. So, skilling the youth in left-wing affected areas is also one of the focused area. If we are able to establish this industrial training institute, then definitely the youth from the district will get opportunity to get trained for industrial work, technical work, and then through that process they can get employment, they can earn for themselves and for the family. Similarly, in each district we are in the process of establishing two skill development centers. In addition to this, as far as education is concerned, we are opening new Kendriya Vidyalayas. Kendriya Vidyalayas and new Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalayas in LWE affected areas. LWE affected areas. Okay. So, we are taking many steps, central government, when I say we, central government is taking many steps to accelerate the pace of socio-economic political development in left-wing extremism affected areas. And central government is augmenting the capacity of the states to accelerate the development in these areas. Central government is doing what it can do directly, but at the same time, central government within the federal polity of India is also augmenting the capacity of state governments of the states which are affected with left-wing extremism to accelerate the pace of development in left-wing extremist areas by, opening primary health centers, by opening Anganwaris, by opening, by opening the centers from where the poor people can get subsidized or free ration, and so on and so forth. Okay. So, we have realized, central government has realized that peace and development goes hand in hand. peace and development, right? We need to understand this, that peace and development, these are interdependent. Peace and development, they go hand in hand. Okay, or these two, right, these two, peace and development, these two are interdependent. These two are interdependent and indivisible. Okay, we cannot separate. Okay, what is the meaning? Right? What is the meaning? It cannot be that first we need to restore peace and then we will start development, or first we should accelerate development, then we will be able to restore peace. No, peace and development goes hand in hand. So we have to accelerate the pace of development, and at the same time we have to continue with our efforts to restore peace. And this is the reason why what actually has worked on ground, because of which there is a declining trend, as far as Naxal violence in India since 2010 is concerned, because the government is focused both on security as well as development, improving policing as well as accelerating the pace of development. But when we are thinking about development, we should be thinking about approaching the problem in a holistic manner and socio-economic political development. And this socio-economic political development, social development is about equal status. Social development is about protecting the rights, claims, entitlements and interests of local community in developmental model. Economic development is about fair distribution of economic resources. Economic development is about livelihood security, food security, employment, education, skill. And political development is about equal say in decision making. Until and unless we take all possible affirmative steps to accelerate the socio-economic political development in Naxal affected areas, we cannot find permanent and peaceful solution to Naxal problem. So this is all about a specific developmental initiatives of central government to combat left-wing extremism.